Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the April 12th edition of Carolina Week.
With graduation drawing closer, seniors are starting to think more about life after college. I'm Elizabeth Lamb, and coming up, I'll tell you if any of those seniors can expect to have a job after graduation.
Springtime at Carolina is starting to look a little more yellow.
In sports, the football team is back in action at Kenan Stadium, and a look at the man behind the success of the UNC men's lacrosse team.
Weathercaster Carl Barnes will tell us how long we can expect these sunny skies to stick around.
All that and a local idol comes home.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
More bad news for the Carolina basketball team tonight. Good evening, I'm Andrea Blanford.
And I'm Lauren McGaha. Thank you for joining us. Sophomore center Ed Davis is making it official. He's going pro. Simone Scott is following this breaking news story for us tonight and has the latest. Simone?
Well, Lauren, this isn't exactly shocking news for anyone on campus. There's really been speculation all year, actually 2 seasons, that Davis wouldn't spend 4 years here in Chapel Hill. He led the Heels in rebounding before he injured his wrist against Duke back in February. He missed a total of 13 games this season, killing any chance for UNC to make the conference run. Most draft experts have Davis going in the top 10. However, Davis has not yet hired an agent, but his team spokesman says he intends to do so soon. His departure will force John Henson, Tyler Zeller, and the Ware twins to pick up play down low. And Lauren and Andrew will be following this story throughout sports, and so just make sure you stick with us.
Great, thanks, Simone.
Yeah, thank you. Harry Truman was president the last time finding a job was this hard. That's the word tonight from economists on campus and throughout the country. And the search for a job is going to be especially tough on new college graduates. Elizabeth Lamb has some suggestions if you're getting ready to enter the job market.
That's right, Lauren. An expert I spoke to says businesses are operating on a last fired, first hired basis. But don't let that keep you from applying to jobs. Graduation is just around the corner, and UNC senior Ronald Redmond is enjoying one of his final days as a student on the Polk Place Quad. But despite spring's beautiful weather, a gloomy job market is on Redmond's mind. The education major from Greenville is feeling the job pinch.
I do have hope that there will be a position, but it may not be exactly where I want to go.
UNC economics professor Ralph Burns agrees. He says high turnover in entry-level positions is normal and says searching for that first job is all about timing. Burns says finding a job, like checking out UNC Career Services, is a lot like getting married. There will always be jobs out there, but finding the job is what takes time. For soon-to-be grads, Burns says they've already landed their first position.
You've got a job. Your job is to find a job. Go after it persistently, be diligent about it, and don't take things personally.
That might be easier said than done, but Redmond knows there's always hope.
I mean, it is a little frustrating to know that my destiny may not be up to my own determination. I guess there is a sense of security as far as I will have a job, may not be where I want it to, so.
For now, though, Redmond is a part of the crowd, hoping like many of us to get that first job. Redmond hopes to land a job soon, but also knows to live up his last few weeks as a student at UNC.
So Elizabeth, it sounds like Redmond's plans are shaping up, but what other advice does Burns have for soon-to-be graduates?
Well, Lauren, he says keeping a positive attitude before, during, and after a job interview can help you not get too discouraged in this economy.
All right, that's Elizabeth Lamb live in our studio. Thanks, Elizabeth.
The UNC system is facing another round of job cuts, a big one. If the legislature approves a 5% budget cut, about 1,000 workers could be out of a job. More than half could be faculty. These cuts could lead to fewer courses being offered and larger class sizes. Last year's cuts, totaling almost $300 million, resulted in the loss of more than 900 jobs. UNC system president Erskine Bowles is calling on university chancellors and the Board of Governors to help fight against the proposed budget cuts.
A group of loyal Franklin Street employees are fighting to save their jobs while preserving a part of Chapel Hill's legacy. The Chapel Hill Museum shares everything from portraits that show Franklin Street's evolution, dedications for famous Tar Heels like award-winning musician James Taylor and designer Alexander Julian. But now the museum is battling to stay open and requesting money from the town of Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill residents are getting ready for Earth Day later this month by learning more about sustainable living. The town of Chapel Hill held Earth Action Day Saturday at Southern Community Park. Participants had the chance to enjoy food and live entertainment while learning about the environment. Children learned the importance of being earth-friendly, while parents visited informational booths to see how they can preserve the environment. The event itself was also eco-friendly, using solar power to reduce its carbon footprint.
Chapel Hill businesses are also gearing up for Earth Day later this month. The Print Shop, an art print and framing store located at University Mall, is now offering eco-friendly custom framing. The frames are manufactured from sustainable forests and are made of materials like reforested wood and tree-free bamboo. They're designed to make the smallest footprint possible on the environment, and they're on sale now until the 30th.
Springtime in Chapel Hill usually means beautiful weather and blooming flowers, but this year it means more runny noses and red eyes as well. Adam Yosem joins us from McCorkle Place, where it looks to be a beautiful day outside. Adam?
You got that right, Andrea. The birds are chirping, students are outside, not a cloud in the sky here at UNC. You really can't beat the green springtime here at Carolina, but lately all the buzz has been about the yellow fuzz. Students relaxing on the quad, trying to get some R&R in between classes. It's a familiar springtime sight in Chapel Hill. What's also becoming familiar are large quantities of this, and this. From windshields to pavement, pollen is everywhere you step. And look, including the car of senior Amanda Goldfarb, who says the yellow dusting is disgusting.
I had to wash the window at least 6 times with the windshield washer fluid to get to the point that I can see.
They're all right here at the tips.
What we're seeing, says horticulturist Olivia Brackenberry, is nothing more than sperm cells from plants.
So the pollen is released from the male cones just out into the air in hopes that it will eventually fall onto a female cone.
It's a love story that students are caught in the middle of, whether they like it or not.
It's just kind of annoying that it's like floating around in the air.
And I don't like it, but a good thing I don't have allergies, so I can live with it.
Students who can't live with it have been keeping Mary Covington and Campus Health busy.
People are coming in with either eye problems or what we call seasonal allergic rhinitis.
Covington says nasal sprays and other remedies work fine, but it also helps to stay inside.
When you see that yellow stuff flying through the air, you need to try to avoid it as much as possible.
A tough pill to swallow for Goldfarb and other allergic students who love this beautiful weather.
I don't think trees need to put out as much of it as they have been, but try to tell them that.
Brackenberry says most of the pollen release has already taken place, so allergic students have only a few more weeks of suffering left.
Adam, how does this spring's pollen compare to years past?
Well, it's been an overproductive year, most in part because of the drastic change between the cold winter to the hot summer. Recently, the pollen count in Raleigh was at a 6-year high.
Wow, well, we'll all keep tissues handy. That's Adam Yosem from McCorkle Place. Thanks, Adam. Chapel Hill's award-winning campus newspaper is getting a new leader.
Coming up, we'll tell you what the Daily Tar Heel's new editor-in-chief has in store.
Honey, the credit fairy doesn't exist.
What?
It's make-believe. Nobody left anything under your pillow.
If there's no credit fairy, then we'll make our credit score go up.
We will, by doing things like paying our bills on time.
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
What?
Explore new worlds. Read. Visit literacy.gov.
Take out meals for just $12.99. Call now.
Sherry Pearson. You are the sole surviving heir of the King of Montonopolis, and you are now worth $45 million.
I'm rich! This can't be real.
Of course it's not real. Come on. Having money isn't about luck. Like that takeout meal. Cook at home instead, you can save thousands a year. Feed me. Feed the pig.
The Daily Tar Heel is one of the most prestigious campus newspapers in the nation.
And this weekend, a new student was selected to take the reins of the publication for the coming school year. Soon, UNC students will be reading a different Daily Tar Heel. A new editor-in-chief is now roaming the halls. Junior Sarah Fryer is the 144th UNC student to take the post. The editor selection committee appointed her on Saturday. Fryer wants to stress a proactive culture in a newsroom that breaks news first. She's encouraging her staff members to take ownership of their work and to increase their accountability to the readers. And she wants to expand the newspaper's community coverage as the DTH moves off campus and onto Rosemary Street. Now Sarah Fryer joins us live in the studio to discuss her version of the DTH. Sarah, what is the biggest difference between the way you're going to run the paper and the way that your predecessor, Andrew Dunn, did things?
Well, it's going to be a big challenge as we move off campus to Rosemary Street. So we're going to have to work a lot harder to increase our connection with the university community and to encourage that our staffers feel engaged, like they have ownership for their work, so we can retain them and continue to contribute to the community.
Now, you've talked a lot about improving accountability. How exactly do you plan to go about that?
Well, I think it comes down to training. We have to be constantly in conversations with our readers. We have to improve our accuracy. And I'm instituting a new public editor position who will serve as the liaison between the Daily Tar Heel and the campus community.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Thanks. One campus group is using philanthropy and a little bit of fun to make a difference. Chi Omega Sorority hosted its third annual dodgeball tournament Thursday as a part of Generaction Service Week. It was an afternoon of food, music, and games in fraternity court. But this year, instead of just raising money, players and spectators also made cards for children of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Generaction Service Week continued Friday with Dance Marathon's cornhole tournament at He's Not Here. Teams of 2 competed in the beanbag tossing game to benefit the UNC Children's Hospital. Generaction participants made more Get Well cards, this time for patients at the Children's Hospital.
With less than 3 weeks of class left, students are eager to ditch their books for a little fun. Students got to do just that at UNC's annual Spring Fest on Saturday. The event features some of Triangle's most talented artists and performers. Students had the opportunity to win raffle prizes and climb up the bell tower. Others enjoyed playing field games and sliding down inflatable slides. All donations from the 2010 Spring Fest went to support the Eve Marie Carson Scholarship Fund.
Saturday's game wasn't the only chance for fans to celebrate the upcoming football season. At the spring game block party on Saturday, students and families came together to enjoy music, food, and fun for a good cause. Participants also got the chance to drink up and boogie down to live music from local band Sleeping Booty. Proceeds from the event benefited the Boys and Girls Club of Eastern Piedmont. You know, Andrea, I'm sure that was great weather for an event like that.
It sure was. This weekend was gorgeous, and weathercaster Carl Barnes is here to tell us more.
Well, it looks like the past temperatures that we have seen over even the last 2 or 3 days look to continue through the next week. And as you see, we are going to have some nice conditions outside, and I'll tell you more about it after the break.
I present to you Algebra 2, Foreign Languages, and finally, Biology. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Me.
Yeah, I'll do it. Me too. Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. Fuego. No hay nada para tu pobre conejo asustado a un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos forestales.
¡Fuego!
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Rachel. She's cool.
Hey. Hey, could you watch the road?
Hey, could you watch the road?
Okay. All right, well, if we die in a car crash, I want to donate my eyes to my neighbor Gary. He has a boat, and he sails all around the world. I would love to see that. I don't know if he actually needs eyes, but who would turn down a free pair of eyes, right? Who's that rich?
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I am forecaster Carl Barnes. And here in North Carolina, spring is in full swing. Those blistery cold winter days are a thing of the past, and it's a beautiful time of year because we aren't quite to those humid and hot, almost unbearable temperatures that we will see this summer. But as for the next couple days, we are going to see plenty of sun and overall comfortable temperatures. Now, as we take a look at our satellite picture, what you're going to see is pretty much the whole eastern half of the United States is clear. We do have a few spotty clouds, especially down in the southeast. You'll see those up in the sky. They will provide a few times of a little bit of shade, but overall we should have plenty of sun over the next couple days. And as you look at the surface map, you're going to see what's causing that. This right here, this blue and red alternating colored line, what that is, that's a stationary front. And it's going to park itself right over our region, and it's going to work to keep everything clear for the next 4 or 5 days. We shouldn't expect any precipitation, but we will have good temperatures, and it should be comfortable. Now tonight across the triangle, we're going to see winds out of the east at 5 miles per hour, and you're going to see temperatures right around 48, might even get up to 50 degrees. What that means is you're probably going to want to take a jacket if you go out, but you really won't need anything more than that. As we take a look at tomorrow, you're going to see temperatures right in the mid-70s. We might have a few clouds here and there, but overall we're going to see sunny conditions, and this temperature out of the southwest right around 5 miles an hour, might gust a little bit higher than that. What that's going to do is actually work to heat things up and keep the day extremely comfortable. Now you might say, wow, that sounds great. Maybe I'll head to the beach. And the thing is, you're actually going to want to head to Wrightsville Beach because we are expecting partly cloudy conditions there with a high of 75. Sounds like a great beach day to me. The water is still a little bit too cold to go swimming, but it'll be a good day to lay out and just enjoy a nice day off. If you're heading to Miami on the other hand, you will be greeted by thunderstorms, a high a few degrees warmer than Wrightsville, but maybe not worth it. Maybe you want to stay local. Now, as Adam was talking about earlier, we do have a lot of pollen in the area. Now, what it is a pollen scale, with 1 being the lowest and 12 being the highest, and anything between 9 and 12 is really an extremely high amount of pollen, and as you can see, we have that over our region. Tuesday, Wednesday, we're expecting almost 11 on that scale, which is extremely high, and a little bit lower for Monday and Thursday. Now, as we take a look at our sky conditions that we can be expecting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way across to Friday and Saturday, we're expecting things to stay pretty much clear. We are going to have plenty of sun, but we will have clouds come across the area every now and then, and Thursday is going to be the clearest day of them all, as we are expecting things to stay a little bit warm. As we take a look at our temperatures, what you're going to see is, again, that trend is reflected here. And you see this Tuesday, Wednesday, highs up in the mid-70s, and then it's going to heat all the way up to the mid-80s, and right around 80 degrees Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Should be great days, extremely comfortable. I can't wait to get outside.
Me either.
Great, sounds like a great week.
It does. Thanks, Carl.
Welcome.
Well, another blue and white competition took place Saturday afternoon, but not in Kenan Stadium. Armed with pillows, students flocked to the McCorkle Place Quad Saturday, ready to celebrate International Pillow Fight Day. Hits came both fast and slow, even in flying V formation. Whether blue or white, ninja or pirates, students challenged one another to the point of exhaustion. Well, I don't know about you, but that looked more intense than our spring football game.
That's right. Simone, welcome back. I hear that football's not the only sport getting attention this weekend, though.
That's right, Lauren and Andrew. We've got a lot going on around campus lately. And after the break, the lacrosse team had its biggest game of the season. We'll show you the impact that Coach Joe Bresci is making on his team.
My name's Emily, and in 7 years, I'll be an alcoholic.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Jose and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours? 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice? 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Simone Scott. Now, we mentioned earlier, Ed Davis has declared for the NBA draft. Davis released a statement this afternoon. I've had 2 great years at North Carolina, both as a player and a student, and now I want to pursue my lifelong dream of playing in the NBA. I love being a Tar Heel and proud that I will always be part of this unique family. I want to thank Coach Williams for giving me the opportunity to play for North Carolina. My coaches and teammates have helped me develop as a player and a person, and I will miss helping them get the Tar Heel program back on top. But on to a different sport on campus, the debate has begun. Fans are impressed with redshirt freshman Bryn Renner after Saturday's spring football game and wondering if he can take the starting job away from senior TJ Yates. About 30,000 fans came out to get their first glimpse of the team, and yes, Bryn Renner. Coach Butch Davis had to like what he saw early on. Renner getting the white team going, he rolls out the fine guess who, Greg Little, for the touchdown, putting the white team up 7-0. And it's just like that fall in Kenan Stadium. But TJ Yates answers back with his 49-yard pass to tight end Zach Pianalto. Look at him go there. That was Yates' longest pass of the day, but the day belonged to Renner. Later in the game, he rolls out and hooks up with Little once again. Those two were on the same page all day, as the white team wins 17-0. Although all eyes are on Renner, the young quarterback gave credit to TJ Yates.
He's like my older brother. I mean, he teaches me everything. Like, I bet you, we're gonna go watch this tomorrow together and just make sure my reads are right. And it's awesome to have a veteran quarterback in front of you that can tell you how you're doing. So,
Coach Butch Davis says the starting quarterback job is officially open for competition. As the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. Saturday, the undefeated men's lacrosse team squared off against UVA. There's an early goal by the Cavaliers' Steele Stanwyck. Now here's Stanwyck again with the Okie Doke. Heels in a 4-love hole early on. It's 5-0 when Billy Bitter gets the heels on the board with this one-timer. Now Bitter again, he gets the goal, but watch this, he goes down hard. It looks painful.
Absolutely no place in lacrosse for this.
Ooh. And losing him hurt an already injury-riddled Tar Heel offense. In the end, it was Virginia handing the Heels their first loss of the year by a score of 7-5. Even with the loss, the lacrosse program is reaching new heights. And as reporter Annie Norton tells us, they're both on the field and off.
2 years ago, former UNC lacrosse player Joe Bresci left Ohio State and returned to Chapel Hill to become the head coach for the Tar Heel lacrosse team. The Heels are ranked number 2 nationally and are 10-1 for the first time since 1991.
The winning and losing is just a minor part of coaching, and it's more about getting to know these guys and their families the best I can.
Bresci has encouraged these young men to become more than just a team, but a family.
He's as smart as a defensive coach as there is in the game. But I think what is more important than that is just his family concept.
Perhaps Bresci's emphasis on family stems from the loss of his only son, Michael, in 2004, a tragedy that has so deeply affected his own life.
Anytime you go through something as personal and as tragic as losing a child, it affects everything you do. Your relationships with people, your relationships with your wife, your kids.
Despite the ongoing pain from losing Michael, Bresci still has 4 little girls and his wife Julie to come home to. She's a woman he so obviously adores.
My better half is Julie. I owe it all to her.
Bresci's family-oriented mentality has spread quickly among his players.
Show up to work every day, 7 o'clock. It's kind of like rolling out of bed and walking downstairs and, your family's there waiting for you in the locker room.
Even on the coldest of days, these guys have learned not to take being a part of this team for granted. He may have lost his only son, but this year he found 44 new ones who love and admire him the way Michael Bresci surely would have. In Chapel Hill, I'm Annie Norton, Carolina Week.
Bresci and the Tar Heels closed the regular season on Saturday at Robert Morris before heading out to Maryland for the ACC tournament. The North Carolina baseball team has bragging rights once again. They're taking a weekend series against rival NC State. After the Heels won Friday night, there's Cal Ripken in the gray hoodie over there. He came out the ballpark on Saturday, and starting pitcher Patrick Johnson could have used some of the Hall of Famers' help in this one. He'd find himself in a bit of trouble in the fourth, despite some nice defense from Tommy Coyle in the middle of your screen. Here he walks in the run as the Wolfpack scores 6 times in the 4th inning. State gives on the win 14-6. The last game started off as a defensive battle with both teams scoreless through 4 innings before NC State drew first blood with this 1 run in the 5th. The Tar Heels had an answer, though. A huge 6-run 7th inning gave the Heels an 8-3 lead that ended up being a 9-6 home win at the Bosch. So, Lauren, Andrea, lots going on. Again, Ed Davis leaving, but, you know, we got word that Larry Drew is not transferring. He's going to be a Tar Heel next year.
That's excellent news.
All right, thank you, Simone.
Thanks, Simone.
One of Carolina's local celebrities didn't win the big prize on American Idol.
But that isn't stopping him from making a splash on the music scene. Coming up, we'll give you a look at a former Cliffhanger's rise to music stardom.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
Listen to Uncle Johannes. Eisenbrahms make you grow up smart and successful so you can be a doctor, a lawyer, a handsome genius composer. Like me.
Feed your kids the arts. Visit AmericansForTheArts.org. Treat your family to Van Gogurt, packed with live and active culture to boost kids' math and reading skills.
It's sure to satisfy your hunger for inspiration.
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
I remember how much you said you liked wine.
Oh.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Former Cliffhanger and American Idol contestant Anoop Desai traveled back to UNC this weekend to perform at the Generaction Week finale concert.
And Mary Proctor had a chance to catch up with him after his performance.
Former Tar Heel Anoop Desai might be a big-time recording artist now, but he hasn't forgotten where his roots are.
It's awesome to be back in Carolina, especially performing my own stuff.
So thank you, Chapel Hill. Thank you, UNC, for being my biggest support.
Carolina students excitedly welcomed the American Idol finalists back to campus yesterday.
I think he's a great performer. I really like him.
Anoop performed original music from his debut album, All Is Fair, hitting stores May 4th.
I have a bunch of shows in the North Carolina area coming up in the next couple of weeks, sort of leading up to the album, and definitely, just because UNC in North Carolina is my, it's my home, it's my base, it's, I really want to get everyone in this state involved to sort of make this a successful launch, a successful career for me.
Anoop made sure to add a little Carolina flavor to the show.
It was certainly nice to have Anoop back home at UNC. In Chapel Hill, I'm Mary Proctor, Carolina Week.
Well, I definitely didn't get a chance to make it out there, but it looked like a great time.
No, I didn't go either, but I talked to a few people who went and they particularly enjoyed his concert.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Carolina students really enjoyed following him on the show.
I sure did. My mom and I were texting, voting for him after every show like 20 times.
I think that's one of the great things about being a Tar Heel is you have this outpouring of support, and he certainly did in this town. That's for sure when he was on the show.
It's a huge Carolina family. He'll always be welcomed back every single time.
And hopefully he will continue to come back.
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. That's part of the Tar Heel spirit.
Yeah.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.